Trisha. Welcome back to another reading vlog. Today is April 15th. It's Sunday. It's about 2 o'clock. I am getting ready to start ACOTAR. So if you watched my April TBR, you will know that I have somehow managed to go my entire time in the book community online and working in a bookstore and reading lots of YA, and I have never read a Sarah J. Maas book. I don't know what the ACOTAR series is about. I've completely managed to avoid spoilers and all synopsis plot points. I don't know how I did it. I seem to be pretty good at avoiding spoilers for the most part, so I have no idea what I'm getting into with this. And I'm kind of excited because I like the covers on these. I think that they're pretty cool looking. And I know that a lot of people who have read them say that they are kind of up my alley, so that I should enjoy them. So we're gonna dive on into this. Hey, so I'm back with another update for you guys. Today is Monday the 16th. It is almost 7:30, and forgive the fact I look like a hot mess because I was doing some cleaning around the house. But I was getting ready to sit down and read more of A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's in my little sleeve now, but I'm reading the hardcover, so I want to keep it all nice and neat in the like suede sleeve that I have. So I'm getting ready to read some more. I started it last night. I'm about 120 pages in right now, and I'm liking it for the most part. There are some things that I'm finding a little bothersome. Some of the writing is kind of wonky. I don't know if it's me or if other people have picked up on this, but sometimes when I'm reading a passage, I'll run across a sentence that I have to read 4 or 5 times and put inflection in different places to understand what it is trying to be said. Maybe it's just me, but I find it very, very strange that I'm running across those sentences, and maybe I'm just having an off reading time, but it's weird. Like, I genuinely cannot understand why the sentence is structured the way that it is until I've read it several times over. Sometimes reading it out loud, trying to understand what's going on in that sentence. And they're not particularly complex sentences, but maybe I just feel like they're not flowing with the rest of the writing style, so then when I hit those, it kind of snags me up a little bit. And then there's this one passage, this one thing, and I couldn't handle it. Let me see if I can find it. So it takes place in chapter 9, and there's no spoilers in this, but this exchange here just kills me. I'm not gonna say the character's name because if you've read it, you probably know who it is and you know what I'm talking about, but they say, "I admire your balls, Feyre, I really do." Or maybe it's stupidity. What? That was a very interesting word choice. Really interesting word choice. Could have maybe substituted, I don't know, "I admire your tenacity." Anything other than balls? Anyway, I found that was really, really funny, so I wanted to share that with y'all. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it. It's not really spoilers, but I'm getting some really interesting Beauty and the Beast retelling sort of vibes from it. I think I've heard that somewhere before, though. It's not really a spoiler, I guess, and not really a spoiler because it tells you on the dust jacket what's gonna happen, but I don't really understand why. So it tells you on the dust jacket that Feyre is taken from the mortal lands to live in the land of the Fae with a high Fae. And I don't really understand why she says over and over and over again that she didn't know this part of the treaty, that she broke part of the treaty, like she didn't know about that part of the treaty. And I find that so fascinating. How did you ignore that part of the treaty? How do you not know what the treaty is with in very specific detail, especially considering the fact that she lives close enough to the boundary line. She lives close enough to the wall separating the Fae from the mortals, and she never paid that much attention to what the treaty actually said. So we as readers only know as much of the treaty as she knows, and she clearly knows nothing about it. So I'm having a really interesting time getting over the fact that this whole world is centered around the fact that the Fae and the Immortals are separate because of a wall, and that there's a treaty separating the two species, and we don't know what it is. I would really like to know what it is. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm getting ready to read a little bit more. Like I said, I'm about 120 pages in so far. I am enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, like what I've had to say so far is not lessening my enjoyment in reading it. It's not the most spectacular book I have ever read. It is not the most well-written book I have ever read, but I am finding it entertaining. I will continue reading and see you all in my next update. Hey, so I'm back with a quick update for you all. Today is Tuesday the 17th. It is almost 4 o'clock. And I just finished A Court of Thorns and Roses. And so I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on what I thought about it. So in my last clip, I think I talked about how I felt like some of the writing was a little bit wonky. But I liked the characters and I was having fun with reading it. So I still feel that way as I finished up. I don't know that I'm quite ready to give it a rating. It's a good rating, but I just don't quite know where I want to settle for what I fully feel about it, because I did enjoy the characters. I thought the plot line was really fun. I felt like the pacing was, you know, pretty good. The writing, the wonky writing, the hard time that I had with the writing on this, it seemed to ease up after a while, and then it was replaced by a little bit of frustration with a couple of other things. So I want to talk just a little bit about some spoilers. So go ahead and mute the video. I'm going to put a little spoiler warning thing right here. And when that disappears, you can unmute it and know that you're safe from any spoilers if you haven't read this. So one of the things that I was a little frustrated with was, I talked about earlier that I didn't like that she didn't understand the rules to the treaty, and that if you do certain things, then you're breaking the treaty between the fairies and the humans. And I understand why, is because the treaty was a bunch of bullshit. Like, half of it didn't matter. It wasn't really real or enforceable or whatever. Like, and then I also was really frustrated by, okay, so I love stories where they've got quests or challenges or riddles or whatever that they have to complete in order to win whatever it is that they're doing in order to survive. I love that. I was severely let down by the answer to the riddle. Like, are you kidding? You're kidding, right? Because I agonized over it for almost 100 pages trying to figure it out. And that was the answer to the riddle? How dumb. How dumb. What a dumb answer. It could have been something so much more intelligent or whatever, something that didn't have to deal with what was going on in the story. So I thought that was a little disappointing. So I liked the challenges that she had to go against and all of that. I didn't like the answer to the riddle. I didn't like that the treaty and the rules governing the Fae were negated partway through the book, but I had fun with it. So that's the end of like my spoilery thoughts on it. And so keep an eye out for my April wrap up. I will have a rating up for it. By then, I will have fleshed out my thoughts on it. We'll see in my April wrap up what I give this. So I finished this, and it only took me like technically a day and a half because I started it Sunday night, like late Sunday night. So now that I finished that, I could move on to ACOTAR, but I'm not going to because I do need to start Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I don't have a physical copy of that, so I'll pop up a picture. I need to finish that. I actually need to start it because that's the Muggle Studies book club pick of the month for April, and I know that if I start ACOTAR, it's going to be one that is going to read pretty quickly because this one read so quickly. So I figure I will reward myself by getting through a good chunk of Scythe by being able to start ACOTAR. So I'm going to go start Scythe, and I will see you all in my next update. Hey, so happy Thursday. It is Thursday the 19th. It's just about 5:15, and I just finished filming my review for Scythe and my Owl Crate unboxing. And so I wanted to give you a quick update on what is going on with my reading since I last updated. So obviously I finished Scythe, and my review is probably gonna go up before this reading vlog does. So if you have not already checked out my review and you want to hear my full thoughts on it, definitely I'll link it up in the card for you. But I started and finished Scythe, and it was kind of a, that was a book. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good, and at least for me. But I just didn't really connect to the story. I didn't really connect to the characters. The premise was pretty good, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to continue on with that series. So it's not a bad book. I'm sure that there are people out there who are going to find lots of enjoyment in it, but that person is just not me. So I am going to, but I already have, is I picked up The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Laurie R. King. This is the first in the Mary Russell series, and this is an adult mystery series. It focuses on Mary Russell, who is a teenager when she stumbles across Sherlock Holmes when he's in retirement. And so she's writing about her time working with Sherlock Holmes to solve mysteries, and that she sees a different side of him than what we saw through Watson as he detailed their time together. And I've started it. Mary Russell is incredibly witty and smart, and it's very, very well written. I can understand why Laurie R. King is one of the most sought after Sherlock Holmes authors. So I started this when I got halfway through Scythe. I'm like 30 pages into it. I'm not very far into it, but I figured I would read this starting now. That way I've got something to tide me over to the end of the month. But I am going to, it's up here. Nope, that's not coming down. I've got a Court of Mist and Fury up there. I'm not going to pull it down because it's going to topple all of my TBR. My TBR shelf is up here. It's going to topple everything. So I'm not going to pull that down. I am going to continue on reading with this. I think I'm going to probably get to the 100-page mark before I pick up ACOTAR. Hey, so I'm here with a really quick update for you all. Today is Tuesday the 24th. It is about 7:45. And you'll see why this is going to be a quick update in just a moment here. But I finished reading The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Laurie R. King. I read this one over the last couple of days. It has been a couple of days since I updated you all last. I really enjoyed this one. It had a lot of elements that I really enjoyed. I am going to be doing a full spoiler-free review on this one, which should be going up sometime in May, I think, depending on how my upload schedule works out. But I actually had a lot of fun reading this one. It was really enjoyable, and I do think I will pick up the next one in this series, you know, featuring Mary Russell and Sherlock Holmes. So now that I finished this, I need to pick up my next book, and I could pick up ACOTAR because I do need to read it. It is super chunky. I need to finish it before the end of the month and do this so that way I can be all ready to go for reading Court of Frost and Starlight in May for the Muggle Studies Book Club. But I know this is a super chunky book, but I'm going to put it off until Dewey's 24-hour readathon, or at least until I finished the book that I just got. And I'm so excited. And I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. It is so pretty. And my roommate came home with a copy of this for me because I wanted to read it so badly, and I am going to pick this up now. And it's not very long, so I will probably be able to finish it tonight/tomorrow afternoon, depending on if I stay up all night to read it. So I'm super excited. So I'm going to go read this now, and I will update you all in my next clip. Good morning. So forgive me if I look like a hot mess. I got up this morning and went to start editing my vlog that is supposed to go up today, and I realized that I never ended it. So I'm going to kind of quickly wrap up what of the rest of my reading was like. So today is Monday, April 30th, and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. And so I did end up participating in Dewey's 24-hour readathon, but I knew that I wasn't going to have enough updates throughout to do a separate reading vlog for that. So I did read a good chunk on Saturday, so we'll get into what I ended up doing for the rest of the weekend. So I believe in my last clip I updated that I had finished The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Lori R. King, and I ended up picking up Leah on the Offbeat, and I finished this in 2 sittings. I read half of it before I went to bed, and then half of it when I woke up in the morning, and I read it so quickly. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, especially considering that in Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, I didn't really connect with Leah. Like, I understood where she was coming from for a lot of stuff, and where her personality was coming from, but I didn't connect to her and like her a whole lot. I feel like this offers a lot of insight, and I connected to her struggle of, you know, like, of discovering her sexuality. I connected with her mental health struggles and her anxiety, and the way that she gets angry for no reason. And I didn't understand that particular portion in Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, but I understood here where she gets angry and that she knows she's being irrationally angry, and she wants to fix it, but she doesn't really know how to go about doing that. So I really connected with a lot of different portions of this book. I really enjoyed it. I'll have a full spoiler-free review coming up, hopefully in the next couple of weeks for you all. And then after I finished Leah on the Offbeat, I ended up picking up A Court of Mist and Fury, and this one I liked a whole lot better than A Court of Thorns and Roses. I mean, A Court of Thorns and Roses wasn't bad by any means. I actually really enjoyed it. I ended up reading half of it before Dewey's 24-hour readathon, and then I ended up finishing it, the other half, during Dewey's 24-hour readathon. This book is over 600 pages. It's ridiculous. It's 626 pages. So I read over about 340 pages on Dewey's 24-hour readathon to finish this one up. I had kind of the same issues with this one as I did with A Court of Thorns and Roses, was that some of the language choices were weird, like with the balls, and there are just things that I can't unsee now that I am more aware of them. I do appreciate that we get some really deep character growth in here, or character insights rather, not necessarily growth, and it was really enlightening considering the way that I felt about some of the characters in ACOTAR, that it made more sense why I felt that way once some stuff was revealed, and then we started to see them in a different light here. And the ending was really interesting, and I can't wait to pick up A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is going to be what I pick up after I pick up my current read, which I'll tell you about in a second. So I really enjoyed this one. I think I gave it like 4.5 out of 5 stars because it was better than ACOTAR, but not like amazing. It is pretty good. Yeah, I really liked it. I can see why people like this one as their favorite out of the series so far. And then for Dewey's 24-hour readathon, because I had read so much from one book, I wanted to read a shorter book, so I ended up picking up Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. This is one that a lot of people talk about as far as having great LGBTQIA+ rep, and having like a really interesting premise where each book in the series doesn't necessarily follow the same characters, but it's set in the same universe and it follows like the same sort of adventures. It's about children who find themselves going through doorways like to Narnia or Fairyland, places like that, and then what happens to them when they come back, and that there is a boarding school for children like that where the parents think that they are going to get better through some sort of psychiatric care, but it's actually a school for all of these types of children where everyone has experienced going to another land, essentially. And there's a little bit of a murder mystery to it. I'm not going to tell you too much more than that because I went in knowing only that, and I feel like it really helped my enjoyment. I did really appreciate that this didn't feel too much like a Nancy Drew-esque mystery. I really appreciated that because I don't know what it is about Nancy Drew, but I just don't connect to the way that it's told. So I really enjoyed this, though it is a novella. It is very, very, very short. So it read really quickly. We didn't get a whole lot of character growth or insight in this one, but I feel like it didn't matter because I understood them, despite the fact that we didn't get a whole lot of depth to them. And the last couple pages, I think the last 2 pages, non-stop chills. Like the way that it was written just it hit me so hard, and I teared up. Like I cried because the way that it was written was so beautiful, and I really connected to just the simple way that the emotions were portrayed in this. So I really enjoyed this one. I'm not going to do a review on this one, but I ended up giving it, I think, like 4 out of 5 stars. And then after that, I yesterday started, well, not at the end of Dewey's 24-hour readathon, I started Ace of Shades, which was the Owl Crate book of the month for April. It is one of my most anticipated releases. This is the dust jacket because I've got it right over here. I haven't finished it yet. I am, let's see, I'm over halfway through. I picked up Ace of Shades at the last very tail end of Dewey's, but I got really tired, like I said, at like 2 a.m. with 4 hours to go, and I was like, well, I read 40 pages out of it. That's cool. So I ended up reading a lot more yesterday. I am going to finish it today. That way I can finish it up for my April wrap up. And I am enjoying it, but I'm not loving it. I'll talk more about it in my next reading vlog, or you can watch my wrap up. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's fun, but it's not anything like spectacular. So we'll see how it goes. I hit some interesting plot developments and revelations in the book, so I want to see where that takes the story, but we'll see how the rest of the book goes. I'll do a spoiler-free review on it, so if you want to hear all of my thoughts like cohesively in one place, you can watch that when it comes up. But other than that, I think that is it for this reading vlog, so I am going to go edit and upload because it needs to be up today, and I was too lazy to do it yesterday. I had a really great reading week, and I am super excited because I might have some good news coming up in my next reading vlog. So hopefully on the personal front, I'm super excited. So we'll see how that goes, and I will see you all in my next reading vlog. Bye.